Moody's downgrades the credit ratings of 9 European countries and smacks France and the UK with a negative outlook. Apple closes above the $500 level and futures are jumpy. I'm Alex Steele and the morning call starts right now.
Good morning, I'm Scott Rowe, the Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com.
And I'm Alex Steele with The Street, and together we bring you Morning Call Express. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. So we have, Scott, stocks are looking for some love here, right? We've had futures really choppy, but stocks seem to be taking bad news in stride. So then how important is today as we digest this Moody's downgrade?
I think it's just another step out of the way. It's another headline that we've been waiting to see how the market would react to, but I think the overall headline is really what the Bank of Japan did.
Okay, so you think that's actually going to be the big mover?
Yes, that I think was taken like, okay, more QE around the world. Everyone's printing money, but you know what? You can't fight it. You know, a lot of people are really upset. What's going to happen? It's not going to end well. But for now, the markets are trending. They're acting very well. There's a lot of money out there. So until we see the ramifications, you know, down the road, whether it's kicking the can down the road until it falls off a cliff or whatnot, who knows when it's going to happen. For right now, the market's trending, and I still think we're intact for higher prices.
I actually read a note from Societe Generale this morning that said the number was good and the surprise was good. They thought they were going to wait for some kind of QE3 hint from the Fed, but that what they were going to buy wasn't going to be enough to really reflate the economy. So maybe a little bit uncertainty there, and I wonder how that's going to be reflected here in the charts.
I think we'll take a look right now because we're knocking on the door of new highs for the year. If you look at the chart here, we've been in this uptrend. It's been methodical. We have two separate ones. I've gone over them many times with everybody. Here's your gradual uptrend, higher low, and we haven't even tested this at all since October. Actually, no, since December. Then you have the accelerated uptrend that we started in the early December with that, gap and go on December 20th. And we've been just slowly moving up every step of the way. We paused right here, but the bears had no control to close us below this 10-day moving average. And now we're right at the highs here. I know Friday was considered the worst day of the year, but you know what? We closed off the lows, the VIX closed off the highs. So now if we can get above this 1354 area, the next real level in the S&P, if you go on a more macro approach, really isn't to this, what is it right here, about 1370, which is last year's high, which we're a stone throw away. So people riding this trend are making money. People worried about the ramifications of QE around the world are missing a rally, and they want to be miserable, and you know how misery loves company.
All right, so if it's possible that we do see an extension to these old highs, 1370 here, what stocks are still showing that kind of juice?
Well, every few days it's a different sector, different group, and that's why we're able to continue rallying. Tech's been strong, tech's been leading. Yesterday, you had some strength in different banks. It wasn't really, throughout the entire sector. So it's getting a little bit more selective as you move higher. You can't just throw a dart. So it's more of a stock picker's game. But like Apple, still making new highs. If you want to take a quick look at the chart here of Apple, you'll see unbelievable
and
move.
You called it yesterday. You said they're going to try and push it maybe to the 520, so we'll see if it gets there.
Yep, and today it's 507, so I figured maybe they push it to about 520, then they bring it back for option expiration. Amazon yesterday woke up a little bit. We talked about this inside range. It went above this buy area of 186. Next level here is 195. And then even, if you want to short, we talked about the top in Netflix, that little red dog reversal or outside day. If you look at Netflix was a nice short for me yesterday and for people in the community. And here was that, topping tail, so to speak. And then this is when it broke below this little trend line.
Do you think the shorts are shaken out at this point, or there's more?
I think we could test this 112, 113. I did cover yesterday, but we're opening up a little flat. If we were to trade through yesterday's low for cash flow of about 118, I think you can make another 5 points to the downside on Netflix.
And then what about banks? Because you mentioned them, they're not all created equal. You're looking at, say, Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan to have more strength here?
Well, Goldman's still rejecting that 117 area. If you look at Goldman Sachs, you will see that it still cannot get through this 117, but I think it's holding higher. As long as Goldman Sachs stays above 113, at some point it's going to try and take out this 117. This morning, Bank of America was downgraded, but rightly so. It's had a move from about $5 to almost 8 and change. So I would say as long as it holds above, there's say this 780 area, I think you could buy back Bank of America here. And yesterday, JP Morgan for the first time showed some relative strength in the bank, so that was good to see.
All right, we're going to have a lot more on the banks, on gold, and also on retail, with retail sales coming out today for January. So stay tuned for the entire morning call on the street.
Hi, I'm Sean Hendelman, CEO of T3 Live, where we train, coach, and mentor traders in order to help you put your money to work with confidence. The T3 Live approach is a blueprint for you to recognize, adapt, and ultimately take advantage of different market conditions. To begin your training with T3 Live, we would like to offer you the opportunity to enroll in our free 30-day online home study course. Fill in your name and email address, and I'll see you on the other side.